That breaking news we are following closely. A person is dead after reportedly they were hit by a train in South Omaha. It's all happening just before 10 o'clock last night near 26th and Q. This is a closer look at the scene. So far, we don't know what caused this incident to happen, but stay with us as we work to learn more details. Also, some more breaking news we are following closely. Westside High School classes will have class today. Classes were canceled yesterday after a water line break. Now, because repairs require digging into the parking lot, there is still some concrete work to finish. Parking remains available in the main lot. There's also a temporary pickup and a drop-off route pictured right there on your screen. All right, in the meantime, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining us on our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. It's good to have you with us. Kind of the last day in this stretch of heat that we've been experiencing.
No 90s in the forecast beyond today, the way things are looking, and that gets us pretty close to the end of the month. So this may be it for those wanting a little summer heat and humidity. We'll go 91 for the high today, and be pretty similar to yesterday. Average high 79 heading into today, and you can see how the rest of the week and even starting off the weekend, pretty darn close to that. So we're not going to see a lot of variation in the afternoons over the course of the next several days. Once we get past today, we've got a beautiful sunrise to start. We're close to 70 right now, with a dew point of 65. So the humidity in the air, you can feel that when you step out. We're right around 70 in many locations, a little cooler outside the city. You can see some lower 60s are showing up, but a lot of these numbers are about 2 to 5 degrees warmer than what we had in these same spots yesterday. There's the muggy meter hanging out right there in the middle of the map here, middle of the range, and it's probably going to be muggy all day today. We'll try to take a little bit of this out of the air over the next several days, but overall, just some scattered clouds moving through right now, some thunderstorms in southern South Dakota. The severe threat with anything as far as today's storms go and tonight should stay to our west. Everything will weaken as it moves east, but there is potential for some storms after today's round of heat. Didn't have that yesterday. You can see what we have on the map as we go towards lunch. Should be well into the 80s by noon, and then by 3 o'clock we're up near 90. I like about 91 for the high today, and notice what pops up around 4 o'clock. Watch that. Just some isolated thunder showers. Doesn't mean they'll be in that exact location, but we're going to have some scattered thunder showers amongst these thicker clouds. Every once in a while, a downpour could pass by. There might be some lightning with it, and then it'll move through and you dry out after that. So just some random downpours possible this evening, and then the focus turns to the west after storms off that severe complex farther west try to kick east. Now, it may just be a little wind trying to create a few new thunderstorms as it marches east, and you'll notice here by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning there could be some thunder showers on the Nebraska side, and we'll see how those meander east, and it just kind of kick-starts what will likely be a day on Wednesday that has chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms on and off through Wednesday. Best odds will probably be Wednesday morning and afternoon. You can see how the chances are greatest on Wednesday. They back off some on Thursday, but I still think it is possible. Two very similar days, quite a few clouds around, keeping us a little cooler. And again, some on and off rounds of showers and some thunderstorms to contend with for the middle of the week.
All right, like you said, kind of beyond today, this should be our last main day of the heat. So looking ahead to the weekend, it shouldn't be another 90s forecast.
That's the thing. We're going to shave a lot of heat off last weekend. We got up to 97 as the worst of it on Saturday.
Woo.
And we'll be closer to 80 this weekend as well. But we're going to keep those rain chances going, so much so that the rainfall potential over the next 5 days, you can see we get into these purple shadings. That's 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Now, this does not mean these exact locations will likely get that. But what it tells us is that the potential's there from the random thunderstorms that develop to give us some pretty good downpours. It all hinges on where they individually develop and move through, but that's the random nature of what we're going to have over the next 5 days. The best chances are probably going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday over the next 5 days, and none of those actually take any of the moisture out of the air. The muggy meter is going to stay right there in the muggy range all the way into next week. So there you go. Highs near 80. Watch the storm chances on Saturday. We'll talk more about the Husker game day forecast here in just a little bit. But notice how the highs don't stray too far from 80. The lows don't stray too far from 60 degrees. And that's what we're looking at for the most part after we get through today's. 90s.
And just as we're talking about this, that first official day of fall also popping up at the 10-day as well.
Yeah, not going to feel too bad.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, let's get another update on traffic this morning. Jared has been closely following this crash this morning.
Yeah, it's Dodge that's been seeing the impacts, and it's kind of an eerily similar spot to where we had a stalled vehicle yesterday that was causing delays. So those have been traveling on Dodge eastbound around 680. You've had a rough couple of days, and here's the situation this morning. It's not a stall, it's a crash that is causing the problems. Eastbound, as you are getting close to the 680 bridge, you've got some delays that are still in place. You can see it's plenty busy with traffic already in this area. That's the delays you're seeing on the ramp from 680 to go to westbound Dodge Expressway. But what we are looking at, Rusty, if you can give me a hand here and refresh that camera, we'll give you a view of that. So you can see that we've got some delays that are in a number of these roads in this area. So you're going to need to use some caution. The left lane has been blocked as a result of this crash, and you need to stay right as you're heading through there. Thanks for doing that, Rusty. Here's what you've got, and it's right in the bottom right-hand corner there that you're seeing that crash still in place. You've also got a vehicle that's in place there. So you need to make sure that you're staying over to the right as you head through this stretch. Be ready for some possible delays as that scene continues to get worked. Elsewhere, it's a lot of some of the familiar spots that we're seeing some of our problems. I-80, you're going westbound near the construction zone there. You've also got a number of other spots where there's ongoing projects, just heavy traffic flow like JFK as you're approaching I-80. But you've also got some new ones too that are causing some issues, and that includes 72nd and L. We've got some new work that's happening there, and that includes some ramp closures that you're going to need to navigate as you get toward that interchange. So here in just a little bit, of course, we'll have another update on that crash at Dodge, but we're going to walk through some of those spots where that new construction has happened because there's a lot of that work that has started in addition to what you've already been navigating, and some of those are in high traffic areas.
Yeah, stay on your toes, all the construction.
Yeah, it's like almost like an elaborate game of trying to figure out your commute, and we've got a new chapter to the game here.
Oh, great. Okay, Jared, thank you. Happening today, the Omaha City Council is hearing a resolution to settle the case with Catherine Belcastro Gonzalez. The former OPD captain sued the city, claiming she had been wrongly terminated after successfully suing the city for discrimination. The city is said to pay her $500,000 as well as attorney fees and costs totaling $160,000. Well, businesses along the Omaha streetcar path are now getting financial relief. The Greater Omaha Chamber announcing a $1 million donation. Businesses included must be located on Farnham and west of Turner. They must have at least effective by August 1st and be a retail business or a restaurant. Property owners who decide to take part must also match 25% of the grant awarded to their tenant.
You don't expect that, so it's like I was genuinely shocked, that it was a fairly substantial amount of money, and felt very grateful.
Officials with the chamber say they expect this donation to help 50 to 60 of the small businesses across that stretch of the street. All right, now over here at the safety desk with Maria Cade. Maria, protein, very big for our health overall.
Yeah, it really is, and it's obviously in a lot of people's diets, but experts say if you eat too much, especially at the expense of maybe some of those other food groups, that can be a little bit concerning. You don't want to do that. Protein, it can help build up and maintain muscle, but experts say that it should be just one part of your plate for dinner. Fiber often gets lost in the protein hype, but experts say it deserves just as much, if not more attention. They say trends like the carnivore diet, which is made up of only animal products, can be concerning.
It's extremely restrictive, cutting out nearly all plant foods, which are going to be rich sources of fiber and vitamins, minerals, and then phytochemicals that are linked to long-term health.
Now, experts say a good rule of thumb is to have about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight. You also want to aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. But of course, you want to make sure that you keep a balance with your eating patterns and have all those food groups represented.
Okay, Maria Cade, thank you. We're back after this. All right, welcome back on this Tuesday morning. Taking a live look outside, overlooking the Midtown Crossing and the downtown area. Time now 7:14 on this Tuesday morning. Let's look ahead to the Husker forecast. Won't be quite as toasty as what we saw this past weekend.
Thank goodness. We're going to shave about 20 degrees off the high temperature from last weekend and have a much more enjoyable one in that regard. But there are some rain chances I need you to pay attention to. With high temperatures upper 70s to right around 80, the storm chances that yesterday looked like it might just be more of a morning thing on Saturday, trying to linger into the afternoon on some model runs. So I put the chances up to 30%, and not great. I don't expect a washout. They'll probably play the football game, but don't be surprised if there's a delay or some impacts to your tailgating the way it looks now. Some spotty storms possible in the morning. I wouldn't be surprised if they linger through about halftime in the area. Temperatures in the 70s and a little bit of a west wind, even outside of thunderstorms. Keep that in mind. Big one in Memorial Stadium at 2:30. So tailgating and into the game could have some impacts from some spotty storms. 70 degrees right now, near 70 in many spots, 69 at the airport, 65 the dew point, and that puts that in the muggy range. That's going to stay there all day, so you get used to the humidity. Nothing's going to change there. There goes a plane taking off from Epley. We're going to warm from about 70 right now up near 91 for the afternoon high. That would match yesterday's, but the difference is the potential for some storms after 4 o'clock today. And very spotty stuff, but I think we could have a couple of those moving through heading into the morning hours on Wednesday. So watch for that. Very random, very spotty. Downpours and lightning are the main threat. I am not overly concerned about severe weather, aside from maybe a random wind gust that maybe one of these can kick out as they're fading away. But notice how there's scattered thunder showers trying to move through tomorrow, moving from south to north. We're not talking all day washout. There should be breaks in between these showers and thunderstorms moving through, but getting to the late afternoon, a lot of those start to trend east, and then the evening hours are fairly quiet on Wednesday, but more are possible on Thursday. Might just have to wait a little bit for these. I'd say on and off right now, but hopefully we can narrow down the time frame of these as we get a little bit closer. Check in each day to see what the latest time frames are, but this tends to hint at a late afternoon and evening batch of thunder showers moving through on Thursday. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this shifts a little bit once we get a little closer, but potential there on Thursday. Right now, anything Friday would be very, very late. Should get a pretty enjoyable day Friday. And then Saturday, we'll go to 78, and there's the storm chances I mentioned on Saturday with possible impacts to the game there as well.
Okay, good to be prepared. Of course, as we look at the 10-day, do those rain chances kind of persist throughout the 10 days?
I think it's something we're going to have to watch even into the early part of next week. So just the way the pattern is, several storm systems that bring chances with them, even into the early part of next week. There's another one Monday night into Tuesday that's trying to bring us some rain. But notice none of them ever bring a big blast of cool air. We keep our highs right around 80, which is pretty close to average, but by the end of the 10-day, our averages do start to trickle into the mid-70s. So when I show you this temperature outlook for the rest of the month, it does lean warmer than average, but that likely means upper 70s and 80s. I think we might be done with any widespread prolonged 90s the way things are looking right now. Nothing that warm showing up in the 10-day forecast.
It's when you're having 90s into October that you get kind of like, okay.
Yeah. I was looking at the records. We have hit 100 in late September before. Hopefully we don't get anywhere near that. But yeah, we don't need the heat that long.
Okay. All right, Rusty, thank you. In the meantime, let's get another update on this crash that Jarrett's been following throughout the morning.
Yeah, we're still looking at that lane restriction being in place as that scene gets to work. This is eastbound Dodge as you're approaching 680, and you can see some of the delays that are in place as you approach this. So you need to stay right, be ready for some delays as you're making your way through here. We'll continue to monitor this and first alert you when that does clear. Here's the scene. You can see people kind of slowly making their way toward this area. So we'll continue to keep you posted through the rest of the morning. A couple of other things that have come up even since the last time we checked in. We've got a stalled vehicle northbound 36th as you approach Cornhusker. Watch for that being in the traffic lane. And then this situation, which I'm still working to get some information. Farnham closed eastbound at 46th. That had reopened and now it's closed again this morning. So you'll just need to use a different route to get eastbound there. That closure there has no notification on what exactly is going on. I'll try to get some updates and figure out why that is there. I do know what's going on here, though. This is 72nd and L. This is a long-term project. We've got the ramps from the entrance and exit ramps from L at 72nd closed, and that's going to be the case into the winter. And that's going to be part of a larger project that redoes that entire interchange. We'll have work ongoing into next year. So be ready for some work to be happening. You can get through here on 72nd and on L, but you can't get from L to 72nd, if that makes sense. You can use 84th and I-80 as some alternate routes if you don't want to mess with the construction. Again, this is going to be a long-term one that's ongoing, so you'll be looking at some of these delays that you are seeing possible as we go through the next several months. And this is just one of many new areas of construction that I'm unfortunately not going to get to because there's just too many of them, but we've got them all listed out in detail on our website, firstalert6.com. Check out that traffic blog. There's some really vital details for you on there.
Okay, Jared, thank you. Well, Nebraska lawmakers are repeating a request asking for federal funding help as part of the state continues to recover from deadly storms. Last month, several counties faced strong winds and dangerous floods. Governor Jim Pillen's office said the storms caused about $39 million worth of damages. A woman camping at Two River State Rec area was killed. The Nebraska State Pen also suffered damages. And happening tonight, top-ranked Nebraska volleyball takes on 18th-ranked Creighton University. The Blue Jays announcing a sellout crowd for the match. More than 17,000 people are set to fill up the CHI Health Center. The Huskers are 21-0 all-time against the Jays, but it's a new era with both teams in year one with a brand-new coach.
Our players shouldn't be shocked or feel surprised or feel overwhelmed. It feels like we played half our games this preseason in big arenas. Creighton's a very, very good team, and they're always a very confident team.
There's going to be one team, two teams this year that are going to get to say that they played in front of 17,000 something fans. Playing the number one team in the country, yes, we're going to go in there and I expect to win. However, it's not the biggest match of the year, and I don't want to, we're never going to put that pressure on them.
Tip-off is at 6:30 at CHI. Still ahead, nuns on the run. Find out where they ended up when we come back.
Well, 3 elderly nuns in their 80s are going back to their former convent in Austria after running away from their nursing home.
Yeah, the nuns say they were moved from the convent against their will. The archdiocese denies that, says it's not safe for them to be there. Austria's national broadcaster reports the building no longer has electricity or running water, but supporters are bringing the nuns water and generators. A family doctor is available to offer medical care as well.
Hopefully they'll be able to get some of that. The sisters, they're also getting encouragement from their 10,000 plus Instagram followers.
Wow.
Doesn't that say a lot about today's society? The nuns on Instagram.
That's cool.
That whole story just like twists and turns of different things I did not expect coming.
Yeah,
I know.
Didn't know where that one was going to go.
Not at all. All right, that's going to do it for us in our 7 a.m. streaming. Time for us to now prepare for our update during the Today Show. We'll give you a bird's eye view as we work. All right, have a great start to your Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, time now 7:26 on this Tuesday. I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get another update on a crash that Jared has been talking about this morning.
We've been seeing some impacts for quite some time on eastbound Dodge. First alert to needing to stay to the right lane as you're making your way toward the I-680 bridge over the interstate there. We have a tow truck on the scene. This will likely not be here too much longer, but you can see we are still working this scene. You've got a couple of vehicles, so it's going to take a little time to get those removed. So stay right as these vehicles are doing. Be ready for some possible delays. We've got a stalled vehicle there northbound on 36th near Cornhusker. And real quick, we have Farnham closed eastbound at 46. Working to get information on that, but you'll need to use Dodge as an alternate route this morning. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. Out there this morning, pretty quiet. We got a few clouds, but we don't have any rain to contend with as of right now. That's all off to the northwest. But as we go through the course of the day, we're going to heat it up a lot like we did yesterday and bring some thunderstorm chances in after about 4 o'clock. Some very spotty showers, a few isolated thunder showers. We're talking downpours and lightning. I don't think there's a lot of energy for severe weather, and it doesn't look like it's going to be all that prevalent. Something to watch for one or two that may try to get a little stronger, but overall I think it's just downpours and a little lightning with temperatures near 70 degrees to start off today. We'll climb to 91 for the afternoon high. Watch for a spotty storm after 4 o'clock and many more opportunities for rain Wednesday and Thursday as well. The muggy meter, it stays in the muggy range all day to go along with those 90s. Aaron?
Breaking news we are following closely this morning. A person is dead after they were hit by a train in South Omaha. This happened just before 10 p.m. near 26th and Q. So far, no word about what caused this incident. The time now 7:28. Back here in about 25 minutes with another update.